Hi, my name's Isaiah. I'm a senior at Brandon Valley. The biggest thing in my senior year was I have some regrets and I have some things I wish I would have done differently, or things I wish I just would have done, period. I feel like the things that define me the most were the things I never did, if that makes sense. Being asked, hey, you trying to go to a party? Hey, you trying to go smoke? Hey, you trying to, go drink with your friends? Those are the moments that define you, because that's when you either make that decision in that moment where you're like, nah, that's not me, or you make that decision in that moment where you're like, what's the bad that can come from it, or etc. When I was put to the test, when I was tempted, and I turned away from the temptation and made the decision in that moment to turn towards the thing I knew I was supposed to be going towards. Some of my struggles in high school, obviously it's still a struggle, but for sure, if we're being transparent, for me at least, I'd have to say girls. That's a place that the enemy knows he'll try and attack me at, and that's something that I've had to talk to God about a lot, is females and music, if that makes sense. There's a lot of worldly music, a lot of music that's not the best out there, and that's been a struggle for me, because when you get in your feels, when you're all feeling emotion or whatever, because as teenagers that's gonna happen, and instead of throwing on Maverick City or Upper Room or John Thurlow, you're like, let me throw on Marvin's Room by Drake. And it's like, well, in that moment, that's when you have to make those decisions, like, hey, what's gonna feed my spirit? What's gonna positively feed my soul, and what's forever? Because those temporary feelings when you're in that moment will never ever feel the same when you're being filled with God in the worship moments. So I find that the times it's easiest to run away from that temptation, the times it's easiest to say no, is when I'm steadily in the Word, when I'm steadily in worship. Because once you get that feeling, that fulfillment, once you feel God's unconditional agape love, there's nothing else that will even come close to it. So the advice I'd say is, hey man, I'm gonna love you no matter what. If I'm talking to a friend or a family member, I'm gonna love you no matter what you do. I'm gonna be here no matter what you do. But what I'm telling you is, the things you're doing are only going to fill you half up. You're gonna feel that little bit of happiness, a temporary happiness, but with God you get that forever joy. You get that forever feeling. So then I just put it in the perspective of eternity, and I do that a lot with my friends, because that's the end goal.